The following program is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
What's going on, good people? E-Buck in the building. This is this week's episode of the Guru Sports Session. What we're going to do is air the show in its entirety, but also I will pop in from time to time live to answer some of your questions or address some of your comments. Now, the best way for you to get your comments read on the air live is to go to either the Hugh Lee or the Eric Butner Nighthawk Network Detroit YouTube page. If you post on there live right now, we will be able to see them live and post them live. Of course, if you're watching this after the fact, then but we will get back to your comments even if you post them later on. If you are on the Facebook, I am monitoring the Facebook. If I see your comments or see you pop in, I will definitely give you a shout out during those breaks. So that's what we're doing tonight. In the meanwhile, please enjoy this week's episode of the Guru Sports Session with me and my good brother Hugh Lee. What up, yo? E-Buck in the building. I know what time it is. It's Wednesday, and we doing what we do. We talking sports, and if you don't like how we talk it, get the on. Flat out. That being said, we ain't gonna have no fun today, Hugh. Throw this whole damn show away.
We gonna have fun, baby boy.
All right, so without further ado, let me introduce the master plan of the show, of which we cannot do the Guru's sports session without the Guru himself, Hugh D. Lee, coming to y'all live and direct from where this week, Hugh?
I'm coming from a futuristic glass Buddhist temple in Bangladesh.
Nice, nice. And I am coming from y'all from the skybox of a professional basketball arena. Now, there's a reason for mine. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But in the meanwhile, we're about to get to it. What's happening, bro? What we doing? What we talking?
I'm just trying to step on my inner peace, man. I said a lot of what I needed to say and get off my chest figuratively yesterday. But yeah, man, just want to talk about a lot of the good things that was going on in sports. First and foremost, we like to congratulate the Las Vegas Aces, man, from winning a third championship in 4 years. I really think that dynasty is really starting to become something that we're all loving. Love Becky Hammond, like we all said before, she should be with the Spurs, but it's all good because he's making the WNBA what it is right now. It's only helping elevate the sales, the crowd revenue, and all that good stuff. So, man, yeah, just really good for the women's sports right now because it was so bad to the point where he already figured when we found out that Satu Sabali wasn't playing that he wasn't watching it because it was already over. And of course it was. I think if you went back and watched it, though, they took the pedal off the gas because it could have been way worse than what it was. But they just basically kind of let loose a little bit and then, showed a little class because it could have got way uglier than what it does. Because remember when I was talking to you and I told you the halftime score, they was damn near up 25.
It matters not if I watched it. You know why, Hugh?
I know
Because
you're right.
more people than ever before watched those WNBA finals. That's in the midst of football, college football season, okay? And they still did a nice little number. So I am proud of the ladies for that. Now, the future of the league is kind of in question because we
Yeah.
now have to deal with the fact that check this out. little quick info about the W. Basically, if you are not on a rookie contract right now, so this don't account for the Caitlin Clarks and the Angel Reeses and the Paige Beckers of the world. But basically, if you're not those people, you're a free agent after the season. Now think about who that includes, Hugh.
There's so many people I've seen on the free agents,
That
man.
includes the future GOAT herself, Asia Wilson. That includes then most of the people on the New York Liberty. That
The Las
includes
Vegas Aces.
I believe that includes Alyssa Thomas. That includes all the major players.
Kalea Copper too?
Huh?
Copper too? Kalea Copper?
That includes Kalea Copper. There's only 2 players out of who I did not name that's not on the rookie contract that are not on the contract. Everybody else will be a free agent. So remember, we talked about how much change it was last season going into this season. I think we're going to get much more of the same. Keeping also in mind that we got 2 new teams next season. So that means 2 more possibilities, 2 more expansion drafts. It could get really, really interesting.
Definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to happen because last year was really bananas, man. We didn't expect to see all these people go to different teams and make impacts like they did.
Absolutely.
It was pretty interesting, man. A lot of the teams looked like super teams. A lot of them fell and folded under pressure. Seattle Storm, but it was actually a really good season, though, man, and I enjoyed it, man. It was kind of sad to see it over, man, but then we still got the MLB, and we got like college football. A lot of stuff is coming on now. So we still got a lot of sports to still, check out right now. But I was definitely happy for what I seen. I was surprised at what happened with the Minnesota Lynx, though. But then, the one thing that we didn't think about with them and how well they was playing was them injuries. And when them injuries came, it came hard and often, especially with, you losing Aficia Collier, then turning around and one of the better defensive players in the league, Dejanay Carrington, went out, man. That definitely it impacted a lot, man. So yeah, this year was really pretty good though. And it was like you had to expect the unexpected. And that's what I believe made it so good because you didn't expect a lot of the things that happened, but it was a happy fairy tale ending for, the Las Vegas Aces and Jewel Lloyd, especially after she talked about what she went through in Seattle.
Now, and some other NBA or WNBA slightly related news, the one and only Angel Reese has signed on to be a Victoria's Secrets model. What's your thoughts on that, Hugh?
Oh man, that's actually pretty good for her, man. She already talking about how she a Barbie doll and she's a baddie. So I think that's something extra on her list. That's gonna definitely bring the revenue and the money to her too, man. As far as having that type of clout, man, that's actually pretty cool though, man. She's definitely setting the bar for the new generation of women athletes. So that's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I like that.
She is more than just a women's basketball player at this point. She's becoming a mogul. She's becoming a brand. I like the look for her. And what you mean? She talk about being a baddie. You seen her? She ain't no baddie. Ooh, the silence was deafening. Let's move on. Can we move on?
I want to talk about this right quick, man. If you stop slandering. Number 1 recruit, reclassified, 5-star Texas Tech recruit, LaDainian Guyton will join the 2026 class. So yeah, man, Texas Tech is doing their thing. You already know how well they've been playing, but now they got the number 1 5-star recruit coming to Texas Tech. What are your thoughts?
This ain't Texas. We don't hold them. That being said, that is Texas. And you know what they holding? Money, 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 money. So yeah, they have paid their way to play, and it's working out in their favor. Because right now, as we said last week, I gotta say it again. The best team in Texas right now ain't Texas. It ain't Texas A&M. It's Texas Tech. Put some respect on their name.
I want to go off into now talking about the NLCS and the ALCS, man.
Time for some baseball.
It's actually pretty interesting, man. Of course, that we had that classic, which I found out they had the most numbers of any ALDS game, man. That game didn't go off to like what time? About like 1, almost 2 o'clock in the morning.
15 innings, the longest NLDS game of all time.
And got to give them credit where credit is due because right now in the ALCS, the Mariners are handling their business. They beat Toronto twice on the road. And then I want to know your thoughts of that, man. I still feel like they can probably get a game or so. But as far as them, like going to, the World Series, I don't see it, man. I think that I'm losing 2 at home is crucial.
Okay, well, before I go there, I got to give some love to my Tigers, man. They did what they could with what they had, man. I give them credit for not giving up and fighting it out to the bitter end. Now, hopefully, the Scott Harrises of the world will do right by them and get them the help that they need. So next year, we're not just talking about barely making the playoffs. We're talking about being in it and being in it to win it.
Did you
And
hear the
as I
rumor?
said, I definitely like the fact that they have re-signed AJ Hinch to an extension. I think that was the right move because we're not there without him at this point. And what did I
Absolutely.
miss?
They're saying, of course, now they're trying to negotiate and try to get a deal because they said they want to make things right with Turk Skubal.
Please do.
So
Please
yeah,
do.
that's a good start,
Now,
man.
again, there's only one concern with that, Hugh. He has the agent.
Scott Boras, he ain't playing no games, man. He is definitely not playing no games. And he don't feel like we would give him an opportunity to win. He will not re-sign with us, man. And this
Understand. The
airtime
way
will
Scott
show
Boras
himself.
works is he working out 2 deals for you at the same damn time. So on the one hand, if Scuba was telling him I definitely want to be here in Detroit, he working that out. But on the other hand, behind the scenes, he already got a deal for that dude somewhere already. You know that, I know that. That's how Scott works, sir.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It
That's
ain't
why
no
he is the highest paid agent in the game.
that he's going to have his guys out there and they're not satisfied. He want to have people who are satisfied where they're at. And if Scuba wants to
Right.
go, then Scuba goes where he wants to go right at this
Right.
point.
So bottom line, if he don't resign here, I think it's a safe bet. He resigns with one of the big teams, the New Yorks and the LAs and the Chicago's of the world.
Yeah, that
Cubs,
definitely
that
doesn't
is.
surprise me. So
White Sox ain't trying to sign nobody.
let's see what happened there, man, because it's a lot of stuff that needs to be explained now, man. The winter meetings and stuff gonna be just around the corner before you know it. But then at the same time, right now, we just got to see what's going on as far as some of the negotiation of what's gonna happen. And this is the best part about baseball. And this is like, if you're not a baseball fan, this will still keeps baseball relevant. People like me and you watch the winter meetings and we love it. That's basically the hot stove, when you talk about
Right.
it.
Because like I said, that last game 5, that was by far one of the best baseball games I've ever seen in my life. And I've been a baseball fan for well over 40 years.
Yeah, so but then they still handling business too, man. People thought, oh man, they were going to be pedestrian when it came to offense, and they just started letting the bats fly in this ALCS right now. And Toronto don't have an answer for
At least not at the moment. Let's see what happens in game 3. Like I said, I ain't completely wrote Toronto off just yet. I mean, based on what we saw in the series before that with Seattle, we a couple pitches and hits away from us being with Toronto right now. So I'm waiting to see. But meanwhile, in the NLD list, we got the Dodgers and the Brewers. That one's over, people. The Dodgers are going to the World Series, just like I said they would.
But you don't think now that Seattle's up 2-0 that they're not going to be able to match that too? I think they'll definitely be there, but I don't think that it's going to be
Well,
no.
you know what I really think, for you. Can I tell you what I really feel?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter which one of them go. The Dodgers beating them. The Dodgers going back to back. I said it at the beginning of the season. I'm saying it now. They're going back to back, flat out.
I wouldn't
The
be
Dodgers
surprised.
are winning right now, and Shohei Ohtani is doing spit. Okay, that's not gonna last. When that bat wake up, rap.
It doesn't even matter if his bat wake up though. Whoever's his bat last year wasn't really that woke, and they still won.
Remember, he was hurt last year, and they still won. So even if they
Absolutely.
get half an effort from Shohei, even if he just don't do nothing but pitch in the World Series, it's a wrap. Too many weapons, Hugh. Too many weapons.
And most of them still wasn't like 100%. So I wouldn't be surprised neither.
They got starting pitchers sitting on the bench. They don't even have enough room for them. It's ridiculous over there. It's just an embarrassment of riches.
The best pitcher they have so far, though, man, is that dude Blake Snell. Man, damn, he was the smartest dude, man. He got a decent amount of money to go to San Francisco. When he said he wasn't going to sign a long extension, I said, man, he just basically filling it out to where he can go where he really wanted to go. And then once that contract was up, he opted out of it. I already knew where his destination was going to be, and he's been playing like their ace too. So yeah,
And you got to respect Blake Snell for being one of those rare pitchers in this day and age that basically calls his own game out there. I know for those of you who are astute to the game, you probably seen Blake Snell last time he pitched, and he had a little sheet that he was referring to. That was him checking out the lineups and the matchups and whatnot, and what he thought that pitch should be. And he was letting the catcher know what he was going to throw. So yeah, and he's been doing that all season. He calls his own game, something that rarely happens anymore in baseball. Some of the greats used to do it, like Nolan Ryan and of course Bob Gibson and people like that. But in this day and age, that's a rarity.
I definitely look forward to that too, man. It'll be pretty soon, I believe. I believe it'll be sooner than later seeing the World Series. But you know, they got money for them though, man. And I feel like they got the personnel. And it's funny too, because now when it comes to the Yankees and the Evil Empire, man, nobody really want to go over there, man. So, you know, people want to go elsewhere. I guess they didn't like a lot of the stuff that happened in the past with them. Like, I didn't know Vlad Guerrero Jr., the history behind why he don't like the Yankees. And that was kind of deep, man, when he said when he was a kid, and he was playing with other kids in Yankee Stadium, they tried to kick him out, you know. And I was like, yeah, man, just little stuff like
it's kind of a similar story to what happened with Ken Griffey Jr., why he didn't like the Yankees.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But then, you know, you see the kids grow up, man, and they end up being second generation baseball players, and they hate the Yankees growing up, man. So, yeah, that hatred's for real.
Absolutely. But yeah,
All right.
check out baseball, y'all. It's getting good.
I want to get into the NCAA football week 8, man. It was some good games, and it was like some games that we're not even really going to talk about right now, neither. But I was just really surprised. Speaking of number 15, Michigan versus USC, I thought that we could have definitely took that game. I was just surprised more than anything that out of all the games, the Bryce Underwood kind of had a bad game that game too, man. We needed him to step up, but I mean, I kind of figured it was going to happen because it ain't like he's polished yet. He's still a rookie.
Kid's only 18 years old, man. This time last year, he was playing high school football. I mean, seriously. But that being said, you know, I thought they was gonna win that game, but I'm not surprised that they lost. Like you said, Bryce was a little off that game. He really was. And Michigan, they didn't come in hungry. You know what I'm saying? They went on the road, and I felt like they looked intimidated at times. I mean, USC is a decent squad, considering they in the Big Ten and they like on that next tier. I mean, because basically we got Michigan, we got that team down south, and then we got the next tier, and they pretty much there, USC, Oregon. Then there's the team that fell from grace. And then, you know, you got Indiana, Illinois kind of up in there somewhere. And then the Purdue's and Northwestern, the bottom falls out after that. But anyway.
Yeah, Illinois got really spanked too, man. It wasn't
And
really
I
like
call that one.
Yeah, that was one of them games where
It was a fraud, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna only get worse too, man, because I just felt like that was the tip of the iceberg as well when it came to them 34-16, man. That spoke volumes to me, man.
They are no longer in the chat.
What surprised me though was the Washington State and Ole Miss game, because you know I didn't really know too much about the unranked Washington State team, but yeah, man, they gave Ole Miss a run for their money, man. They were on the ropes. It was just they couldn't finish the job.
Trap game. Trap game. Any given Saturday in that case.
Let me hit you with this one.
Ole Miss came in. They had the big payloads. They was like, yeah, we got this. This ain't nothing. Let's get ready for next week. Washington State was like, not so fast, my friend. You're going to respect our gangster.
You ready to put some respect on this team name? Number 7, Indiana versus number 3, Oregon. Fernando Mendoza, that dude went off, man. When he had that pick in the game, I said, man, that might, be the tip of the iceberg. But that dude stood in there, man. And to go in there and technically that 30-20 victory wasn't even really, it didn't even speak volumes, man. That's just putting lipstick on the pig because that whole game, Indiana was more physical. They out physical than they outplayed them, man. And for the people who didn't know Fernando Mendoza, you know him now.
And if you don't know him now, you will know him when draft time comes because that dude's a first rounder at this point.
Yeah, he definitely played like it.
I gotta eat that humble pie on this one. Indiana definitely is playing much better than I thought they would. I thought they was a fraud along with the Penn States and the Illinois of the world, but they showing me that they got the goods. That team is a playoff team right now. That team is one of the top 5 teams of the country right now, and they playing like it.
Do you think that hurt Dante more chances as far as his Heisman candidacy?
No, I do not.
I definitely don't feel like it.
Especially when you lose to that team, and that team go on to be undefeated, that makes perfect sense because they didn't get blew out. So
Mm-hmm. And what I'm looking at too is, man, basically they didn't Florida State it, so
right.
they good.
Anything, it just made it that Mendoza at this point got him a ticket to New York on the way.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, let's talk about that Red River rivalry game. Number 6, Oklahoma versus Texas, man. We saw that game and we thought, man, if they had a good enough quality, second string quarterback, why didn't they play him, man? John Mateer came in and they said his thumb was still jacked up. You could tell the way he was throwing. He was throwing sidearm, and it didn't even look like he was comfortable when he was throwing the ball, man. But then you picked the wrong game to do that with that messed up
you
thumb.
Saw the game, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. I seen him
doing, right? How many times you see him doing that?
He did that damn near the whole game, and you could tell because
now, if you as a Lions fan are familiar, remember we went through a whole half a season with Matthew Stafford and the bad thumb and him, so we know what that is. I mean, long story short, I don't think he plays except for the fact that it's the Red Rivalry game, and he wanted to play in that game. He came back too soon because of that.
Yeah, man. And they paid the price too. That final score, 23-6. You wasn't expecting that. And he threw the ball and had some yards, but those 3 interceptions was definitely costly, man. Yeah, man. I want to talk about another game that was a little questionable to me, man. The number 10 Georgia versus Auburn game, man. That was kind of weird, that whole situation. You seen when my man's crossed and he actually had the touchdown, and then the guy knocked the ball out of his hand, and they was like, oh, man, that was a fumble. I'm like, well, it clearly hit, cross the plane. Even the announcers were saying, okay, yeah, that should definitely be a touchdown. And when they overturned it, that changed everything. It took the momentum away from the game, man. And that's when the final score ended up being 20-10. And it seemed like it took the fight out of Auburn after that, decision.
But I said that game would be closer than people probably would give it credit for. So I'm not surprised that it was that. But yeah, it definitely was a momentum change.
Tennessee, Arkansas was the same way too, man. Tennessee barely beat them.
Be close too.
Yeah, that was a really good one right there, E.
Tennessee's defense is cheeks, though. Let's be honest.
Pretty much. Definitely pretty much.
If they're not going to outscore you, they're probably not going to win.
Number 8, Alabama versus number 14, Missouri. That was a really good close game too, man. And that came down to the wire.
And I said that would be a close game. And it was, as it usually is when they play each other. It's usually a couple key plays that kind of separate what happens in that game. I mean, the thing is, I feel bad for Missouri because they came to the SEC and they probably shouldn't have. They probably should have stayed in the Big 12. They've been dominant in the Big 12 right now if they've been there. Because they have the one thing that most teams in the Big 12 do not, which is defense.
And the thing is, that game was actually really good too.
Right, and a good running game, I might add.
It came down to him, the quarterback trying to be too greedy. It was a guy underneath who could have got the first down, but he wanted more than that. Got picked. Ball game.
I mean, bottom line, he beat Alabama. That makes their season. You know what I'm saying? They may or may not make the playoffs, but in the end, that was like a playoff game for them, as it is for most teams when they play Bama.
what I respect too is the fact that Bama, as much as I wasn't as far as the familiarity with them, man, they got the big dude who got all the little trick plays up his sleeve, the 300-pounder. It'd be cool to see him with some of the plays he do. And on top of
300,
that,
hell, that boy about 4.
400. Yeah, I like the trick plays they be doing for him, man, like the wildcat positions and stuff. I was surprised they called that back too, E, because that looked like he clearly scored on that wildcat play.
Yeah, if we find it, we'll put it up in the comments. But that dude is a grown ass man.
He definitely gonna go. He gonna go high in the draft. I'm trying to see what is he. I don't know what class he in. I'm gonna have to check that out
It
too.
don't matter. Whenever his time comes, he going.
Man, this one I didn't expect this one right here, man. I didn't think the BYU, the number 18 ranked BYU, would be that close with Arizona neither, man. They slithered their way into that one. They had to go to 2 overtimes on that one, man. What are your thoughts on that game?
BYU got all them old people there, man. They always gonna be in games that you don't think they're gonna be in because hell, they playing with 22, 23, 24-year-olds on that squad. Coach.
Number
Same with that
20.
squad over there in Utah. They got grown folks on them squad.
I was just about to bring them up, man. Number 21, Arizona State versus Utah. That was a game that I didn't think it was going to get that out of hand, man. But 42-10, yeah, that was crazy. That spoke volumes, man.
I still don't quite know what to do with Arizona State. I mean, they're not really in a conference, but they kind of is a conference at the same time. I don't know.
We got to give props on this game right here. Rocco Beck, y'all might be in trouble, man, as far as your Heisman candidacy, man. Number 22, Iowa State versus Colorado. Colorado pulled off the upset 24-17. Your thoughts?
I'm not surprised. I mean, Colorado was the team that was supposed to be winning a lot of games and challenge for going to the playoff. That's how they was set up and built. Yeah, they going through some growing pains and whatnot without Shador, and Coach Prime is definitely going through it with all his health problems and whatnot. But I think it's enough talented people on that staff. It's enough talented people on that team where they should at least win enough games to get to a decent bowl this season.
Let's talk about this game because I call this one for sure. Pitt versus Florida State. I said, don't be surprised if that was an upset, man. And Mason Hetchel, man, he had a pretty good game. 321, through the air, 2 touchdowns. And then where he had the mistakes was the 2 picks in the game, but it still didn't cost them, though. I felt bad because I feel like Tommy Castellanos had a good game and he played well, but it still wasn't enough, man. And to lose now, and now their record is 3-3. That's just basically looking like the Florida State teams of the past. When they had a good start, they were 3-0, and then they lost the last 3. What are your thoughts on that 34-31 win and beating them? And now I definitely know they're not ranked anymore because they was ranked 25 after in that
Right.
game.
Well, I think Florida State could still pull to a point to where they might possibly make the ACC championship game. But yeah, they playoff hopes is over.
Yeah,
Like I said,
absolutely.
it's like they got cocky, man. After the first couple wins against
Yeah.
Bama and whatnot, they started reading the press clippings and they started playing different. And Castellanos, he started being more of a gunslinger, and that ain't working out well for them.
They lost 3 games to the division in the ACC too. You lost to Virginia, you lost to Georgia Tech, and then you lost to Virginia, you lost to Miami, to U, and then you lost to Pitt. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. And I imagine if they do play Georgia Tech, they might probably lose to them as well. So,
Surprised, D. I definitely wouldn't, brother.
Right. And I do believe they still got Clemson on their schedule at some point. So, yeah, it's not so good.
All right, E, we going into week 6 of the NFL. We're going to start off with that Thursday night game, man. And remember, I was talking to you the whole game because I thought that it was going to be a game because I believed that we both picked on the Eagles and thought that they were going to bounce back. But, man, this was the wrong challenger at the wrong time. I still don't think there's going to be enough to actually save Brian Daboll's job. But, man, they got thumped, man. And I think what really was one of the X factors was when Quinyon Mitchell got hurt and he was out the game. What are your thoughts about that game? That final score was 17-34.
I'm starting to get the same feel about the Eagles that we started to get last year about this time when it was looking like they wasn't going to be too good. and
Get
the
banged
coach
up.
is starting to get that heated seat over there. They started to have a little nitpicking and the little issues and whatnot, and we started to feel like maybe this ain't it. But then a couple player only meetings later and whatnot, they kind of put it all together and finished out strong and obviously won the Super Bowl. I think it may take that. I mean, bottom line is it was a division game, so the Giants was up for it. I mean, is Jackson Dart the savior for the Giants? Him and Scatterboo? I'm not ready to go quite that far yet. It's been a couple good games. I like the energy over there. But yeah, let's see where we at in another month or so.
Need some more offensive weapons still, because the
I mean,
defense is
especially with neighbors out. I mean, that definitely
yeah,
hurts.
absolutely. That's absolutely. That would have really helped them a lot more too in this
That's
game.
a
It probably got
whole
worse
ball game
if
with
he
him.
played.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about the Patriots and the Saints game.
Well, no, before you go there, let me one last thought. Russell Wilson, I think it's time, sir. You've had a good career. You won your ring. You went to a couple Super Bowls. I think that's it. Because I really don't see Russell as a backup moving forward. So right off into the sunset, I'm pretty sure it's a nice cushy job at one of the networks waiting on you, being one of the talking heads. So I would like for Russell to go ahead and finish up and ride on off in the sunset with his fine ass wife.
I'm glad you mentioned that. We're gonna scratch that game, Ian. We're gonna go into that morning game, the London game, the Denver Broncos versus the New York Jets. And it really getting bad over there in New York, man. But they lost that game. That game was like pretty bad too, man.
That
Like
game was so not good.
and when you look at it, we thought that it was gonna be bad, but we didn't think that Denver was gonna play like that. So that was a
They
shocker.
both played like
Yeah, it was. It was real funky, man. And now
Yeah,
they're
I didn't
saying
watch that game, but I listened to it on the radio in the car, and it just didn't play well at all. And when I saw the
I haven't
highlights, it was everything I thought it was and worse.
I haven't seen a player in a while. I'm gonna say NFL history who was a quarterback who only threw for 45 yards.
That was the crazy thing about it, man. I mean, I just don't understand what's going on. I mean, would not surprise me if they bench him, but keep in mind if they bench him, that's it for this dude. He's
Yeah,
done.
especially if Tyrod Taylor come in and he start playing good, man, and getting
And
that
you know he
crowd
probably
up
will
behind him.
because that's what Tyrod Taylor do.
Yeah, he's a pretty good backup, man. He'll do enough for you to win for sure.
He's
He
a
won't lose a
fringe
game
starter
for you.
even.
Yep. And I looked at that game too, and Bo Nix didn't light it up, man. 174 yards
No, it
through
was
the air.
definitely not his best work.
Was
No,
just
sir.
as bad. What saved them was that defense, and then it's more good news for that defense too, because Dre Greenlaw will be back. Yeah, just to let
Hey y'all, hopefully y'all enjoying the show. For those of you checking in on the YouTube, remember you can make comments and we can post them live to the show. Let us know what you think about what we were talking about. Let us know what we should be addressing later on. I'm sitting here looking at the Facebook feed. Dale is checking in. He's saying Brian Daboll is still going to be released after this season, maybe more. Yeah, I think this is it for him. I agree. He also says, I want to know if a team will take on Kirk Cousins' contract. I definitely think that's going to happen before the trade deadline. And Justin Fields might just be better off as a backup. Perhaps it is the Jets that will look into good old Kirk Cousins. We shall see. All right, back to the show, guys. He's
people know
definitely one
that.
of your better definitely one of your better linebackers in the league. Absolutely.
And that score was funky as hell, 13-11. Now
That
we
game
go.
was funky as hell.
Now we go into the New England Patriots and the Saints game. They was going blow for blow in that game, and I just feel like the Saints just ran out of gas.
Yeah, we back to calling them the Aints. I'm sorry, because they probably should have won that game. I mean, Spencer Rattler, I don't know now. I really was starting to think, no, he just a placeholder till they figure out some things. I could make an argument where you keep him as a starter, even when or if Kirk come back, because he shows signs of good things.
Definitely some flashes.
Then sometimes it get kind of. But yeah, as far as the Patriots go, we talked about that the week before. The way they schedule work out right now, it's kind of in their hands.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong, favorable schedule for them right now. And
Absolutely.
right now the Bills are on the ropes too. This is a good chance. Speaking of, and I want to get this, and I just want to peel that damn scab up my arm right now, and I want to talk about the Detroit Lions Sunday night game with the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to know your thoughts.
Well, no, I actually want you to express your thoughts much as you did at the Guru's perspective. Please check out that episode, particularly when he talked about several thoughts. I do want you to express some of them, and then I'll go with what I got to say.
I definitely still feel the same. I'm drained after yesterday's show talking about it, man. It ain't gonna change anything, man. We've seen a lot of times when things like this happen, and Roger Goodell and the Shield is not gonna do absolutely nothing about this. I've been talking about this ever since we had a podcast, man. The integrity of the game, and it was so many missed calls, man. Like the catch that Travis Kelsey supposed to had, and it was clearly on the ground and you saw it. It was a pass interference when the guy was 2 yards behind Travis Kelsey, and it was over his head. And then all of a sudden, that was, called the touchdown that wasn't called, and they said he didn't set, and basically, get in position to actually get the touchdown. It was so much stuff that happened, man, that I said, you know what? I was just a little discouraged after that because it's like certain teams, they give certain things and privileges too. And I used to didn't really look at it like that at first. And people used to hate the New England Patriots when that stuff used to go on because they were winning. I think regardless of the fact too, when you're winning, they probably give you some favorable calls, man. But it just got out of hand in that game because you clearly seen how bad the referees was. But I'm just not saying just that game. I'm saying in general, man, the officials has been pretty bad the last 2, maybe 3 years in the league. And it's like, don't insult my intelligence, man. It's starting to look like how when people were saying that it was scripted. Yeah, man, it's starting to look more like WWE when they do some of the things and make their decisions. But I don't really want to get off into it and really talk and get all, winded or, just basically get upset about it, man, because like I said, at the end of the day, it ain't going to change a damn thing. That's a loss on our record, man. We need to focus on bouncing back. My issue was, I feel like Brian Branch got antagonized, and like when the touchdown when my man's flexed on him, Patrick Mahomes. That should have been an unsportsmanlike conduct call. They didn't call that, but then it's like it got to be an even playing field, man. You call it on anybody else, but it seems like, man, you kind of coddling that dude right now. But I just looked at it like, well, the wrong thing that happened was Juju was trying to be tough and acting like he was a tough guy. He shouldn't have got up in his face, definitely at the heat of the moment. But I still don't condone what Brian Branch did, though. I definitely felt like that was childish, and he mentioned that. But then, that's costly too, man, because we got a strong opponent that we got to face, man. Probably one of the hottest team right now in football, man. And that definitely don't help our chances.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Understand. And hearing your comments on the show, I did not agree with everything you said there in terms of your overall thoughts. Like I said, for y'all to get a better understanding, please check out this week's episode of the Guru's Perspective. We will actually put the link of that in the comments for y'all later on this evening. But a few things. One, we talk about the integrity of the game with the Shield. Understand the Shield's primary goal is to make lots and lots of money, more than any other professional sports league does outside of major soccer. And because of that, anything that they do that generates that income that is in their benefit, they will not only do, but they will continue to do. Is the referee situation not so good at times? Yeah, I think we could point to 2 or 3 games every week where we look at the calls that were made, and it definitely affected how the game was played. Let me be very clear, Hugh. Lions lost that game. The damn calls, the lack of calls, it did not have nothing to do with the overall play of that game. Could they have been a little bit closer because of that? Yeah, I can argue that. But yeah, they lost that game, and I felt like
It
we
had
were
a
gonna
lot to
lose
do
that
with it,
game.
but they lost their game, and we basically felt like, in our defense, we felt like that was a game they could lose.
I mean, we both called it. It was gonna
Yeah,
be an L. Uh, primary reason why they lost is primary reason why they lost because secondary was trash, and
pretty
we
much.
got hurt even more so in that game. Brian Branch, he had a bad game. He got beat up. He got burnt, and
The
he
defense
didn't deal with it
was
well. Let me
lost
be
that
very
game.
clear. I
Yeah,
don't give a damn who bullied him, as he called it, and who teased him, and who got in his face, who flexed on him, all of that. You are a professional football player in the National Football League, one who has been fined over 10 times for similar actions. It's like one of the NBA analysts said, I ain't giving back none of my money. I'd be damn, I'd do anything for you to find me, and I just give my money away. And Lord knows NBA players make more money than NFL players, particularly people like Brian Branch still on their rookie contract. It's just not smart for you to do this. You are not only affecting what's going on with your team this week, not what's going on with your family for that year because you didn't cost them money, what's going on with your potential future contract with either the Lions or any other team, because when it's time to negotiate, what one of the things they're gonna point out that's not gonna be in your favor. Remember that time you did that? Yeah, I don't know if we should pay you this type of money, and that's the type of actions we gonna get. These are not the actions of a quality pro athlete. Now, everybody has vouched for the character of Brian Branch and whatnot, and that's all fine and good. But it was stupid. And the fact that he is well, basically it was denied, so it don't matter. But the fact that he was fighting a suspension was stupid because you know you did it. You admitted you did it. And like I said, you fortunate because in the ideal world, I agree with you at the time. You should have got 2 games for that. Just for the simple fact that you are a previous offender. Much like how they deal with NBA type of stuff with people like Draymond Green. When you have multiple offenses, that means you got to hit harder. So yeah, if you miss 2 game checks, maybe then you change your ways, okay? Yeah, I understand. Football is a very violent game played by people with very violent tendencies. Yeah, some of the stuff that's said on a professional football field is some of the foul, most angriest stuff you will ever hear in real life. For all the things that you know, when they have them mic'd up and we hear some of the outclips that they play for us, if they played the whole thing for some of these folks, you would look at them real different. We all love the GOAT Tom Brady, but Lord knows that dude got a potty mouth on him when they play football, okay? So that being said, you are not above reproach for that. But long story short, yeah, the Lions lost. Yeah, refereeing need to be better. Yes, the NFL is ruled by money. And yes, the whole Vegas aspect of it does have something to do with it all. Because right now, as I told you early in the week, the real winner in these last couple of weeks in the NFL has been Vegas. Because a lot of y'all have betted on certain teams and they didn't win, but Vegas did.
I want to move on now because I'm tired of talking about it, honestly.
Fair enough.
I want to talk about the Browns and the Steelers game. I think
Okay.
that game was going to be what it was. I don't got nothing else to say about it. What are your thoughts?
It was a game between 2 divisional foes. They played like it. The Browns wasn't supposed to win that game because they got a new quarterback, and the Steelers supposed to have a better defense than what it showed, but it did well enough to handle proper business. So
They did just enough.
there it is. I mean, bottom line is, in my mind, the clock is ticking on one quarterback named Gabriel Deer. And in the end, I say this time next month, we're gonna see what that other kid can do.
You know what's crazy too, man? The biggest disrespect that I've ever seen from any individual is when Dylan Gabriel got sacked. What did Jalen Ramsey do? He didn't do a dance around him. He sacked him and pointed at the sidelines to Shedeur Sanders and kept it moving. I said, oh, that's the biggest disrespect.
Mm, Like I said, some things hit different. I mean, NFL would not be the same if it got played the way some people would like for it to be played, where basically you hit the person, you get up and walk away and not say nothing, not react. not pump your fist and all of that. I would hate that version of the NFL. They actually went with that at one point, and people didn't like it. People started watching again more when they started letting them celebrate in the end zone and the whole first down things and the you smell me and all that. That's part of the game. But then we have the issue with the fact that when they do these things, you go next week to the Powder Puff football game, and there's little Jimmy trying to do the same things. And it don't look good with Jimmy at 8 holding his nuts and doing the throat slash and whatnot. That's when we suddenly have an issue with what's going on.
Yeah, the NBA definitely has been something I've been upset with before in the past, and how they did things and how some of the rules changed. But the NFL starting to get worse to me, man. And I'm on my last straw with these dudes, honestly. But this was another game right here that I want to talk about. That and you already know we've been talking about this for a while. I'm surprised Mike McDaniel still got a job at this point. That game definitely was supposed to have been their game, man. How do y'all let Lad McConkey get that open? First, you had the sack on Justin Hubbard, man. You couldn't complete the sack. He brushed that dude off, and I'm like, okay. Then he threw the ball like a funky sidearm motion. I'm thinking, all right, man, this is just basically them trying to get close to try to make a field goal. Lad McConkey got open, man, to the point, man, he got so open, he ran like 30, 40 yards. And I said, damn, man, this game about to be over. They about to win this game. And, that's it for their coach. I don't know how they lost that game, to be honest with you, man. It was just poor defense and just poor effort. Like, they gave up on that dude, man.
There was a press conference after that game with Tua Tagovailoa, and he basically discussed some of the things that's going on the inner workings of that squad, something that is taboo to do. The fact that he is the leader of that squad and felt the necessity to do that indicated two things to me. One, you don't respect the culture of what's going on there, because if you got any type of real coach, like a Dan Campbell, like a Mike Tomlin, you don't do that. Because as soon as you got off that stage, they had you in the back, and they might as well mic it for sound, because you would have heard it loud. What the fuck? You punk. Yeah. Dan and Mike, they ain't playing that. Mike McDonald, on the other hand, he too soft, dog. He too soft. He is not a good football coach. Him got to go. And I don't
respect
understand
the
why it
player.
ain't happened already. He
The
has
player
lost the
who-
locker room, especially because you done lost the leader.
The player who said that they should have left that in house was something that I believe too. And that being said, I definitely believe that Tua gave up on him, but it ain't really no big deal because Tua's not really an asset neither. I think it's time for them to look for a new franchise quarterback as well.
Long story short, get rid of Mike McDonald now, put an interim coach in, see what you're working with the rest of the squad for the rest of the season. It don't matter when Tyreek Hill get back, he will never be the same. That type of injury for somebody with that type of speed, he in his 30s, it's a wrap. Yeah, he'll make out decent probably, but he will never be what he was. And we know what the deal is with Tua. He just won away. He just one hit away from it being a whole nother scenario. So yeah, go on here and basically get the tanking.
What surprised me was how funky this next game was, the 17-3 game with the Rams and the Ravens. I thought that after getting lit up before by the Tennessee Titans, man, not Tennessee Titans, I'm sorry, the Houston Texans by like 41 points, I thought the Rams would come in and do it the same way. I was actually surprised though, man. It looked like the defense at least tried to play for the Ravens, but that was another bad game. That 17-3, because Stafford didn't really do much at all, man. Which I was thinking is this dude still hurt, but Cooper Rush had 72 yards himself, man. So yeah, it was just another game that I thought that it'd be a little better, at least on one end with the Los Angeles Rams, but it was just a pretty bad game all around.
I mean, the Ravens are dumpster fire at the moment. I'm sad to say that because, like I said, every week they're making me look worse and worse with my pick for them to win it all. Clearly, that's wrong. But right now, I'm just hoping they can make it respectable. I mean, we'll find out this week because our good buddy will be back, Action Jackson. But
Don't
that
matter.
being said, that defense looks so bad and it's banged up. And I mean, Matthew getting old. That's all that was. He gonna have a couple more clunkers, I think. Before I mean, is this Matthew Stafford's last year? It probably should be. I can see him playing one more after this, but it's probably time for him to go on here and call it a wrap and go hang out with his buddy Creighton Crenshaw on the golf course or something.
I think it's time for him definitely be looking into that and the Rams
I
in
mean,
general.
you'll be putting on a gold jacket one day, Matthew. So you ain't got nothing else up to prove.
They just need to look for a new quarterback right now too, man, because his future is gonna be little to slim. I want to move on and I want to talk about the next game. I want to talk about the Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Indianapolis Colts. Now, this game, too, I was a little surprised with, too, because I thought that in this game, the Cardinals could have won this game. And it was a pretty good, valid comeback effort, too, when it came to the Indianapolis Colts. And they got a pretty nice team. I'm just really surprised in how good Daniel Jones has been playing. He beat some worthy teams, too. And not only that, man, it just let you appreciate the offense and the defense a little bit more and what they've been doing over there, man. But yeah, I've been surprised, man. So, like you said, we talked about this before with my man's because with Kyler Murray, man, Kyler Murray is like, okay, what are you going to do with him? Where is the next stop, or is it like is he the guy, or is it you got to go and hit the reset button? Because this wasn't even a Kyler Murray game, man. Jacoby Brissett played actually pretty good. Damn near played good enough for them to win, man. He had 320 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a pick on the day, but like you said, when you play too many games with Jacoby Brissett, that's when he really started to show his true colors. But he looked pretty good in that game, man. Looked good enough for them to possibly go and win.
I mean, it kind of proved the point we've been making about Arizona. They got a good squad over there. The issue is just that, okay, how much of Kyler Murray do we get to upgrade them to that next level? I mean, they could win without him. I think that clearly showed it. If the Colts was a little worse, they probably would have won that game. If Cardinals was playing a team that wasn't quite the Colts, they probably would have won that game. So, I mean, you look at Cardinals division outside of San Francisco, Seattle kind of is what it is. And the Rams, they had a ups and downs. They should be right in the mix with them right now.
Yeah, man, I definitely thought that they'd be playing a little better this year. Surprised that they're not playing as good. It could be worse though, man. But then 2-4 is not really good at all, though. Let's be honest.
No,
And then this is the any given Sunday situation too for me, man. You seen that you had a team in the Jacksonville Jaguars was on cloud nine after a really good Monday night win against the Kansas City Chiefs. And then they turned around and then they played the Seattle Seahawks at home and just couldn't get it together, man. The Seahawks, man, I think with Sam Darnold over there, and then not only that, but then having Jackson Smith and Jigma over there as the number one, man, I think they made some pretty good decisions.
Seattle a good team at this point. I give them that. I think. Hey, what's up, gang? Jumping in. Yeah, again, if you want to make any comments on the show, please go to the YouTube page, which is Hugh Lee or Eric Butler Nighthawk Network Detroit. You post your comments, we can put them up live. Like this comment from my brother Hugh, who said the No Fun League is starting to be the biased No Fun League. He is also saying that Vegas made NFL just as bad as WWE. Got my BFF checking in, Alicia Milton. See you watching. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Again, we are going back. This is Guru Sports Session. Part of the issue with Jacksonville Sunday was that it was a short week for them, and they still was at home, and they was kind of riding high on what happened. But remember, they barely won that game against Kansas City outside of a couple miracle type plays. So yeah, they still on the come up. I still like the trajectory that Jacksonville is going, but in the same token, you gotta put a little respect on Seattle. They came and did what they supposed to do.
They did exactly what they were supposed to do. And with Sam Darnold, man, for all the people who laugh and wanted to call him out and say he didn't think he was a good quarterback, he good enough to win some games in the NFL. And that's what I've always thought. He played kind of scared sometimes last year, and he still got that scariness to him. But, when he plays and he had that protection, man, he will definitely light you up if you give him that opportunity.
He's not Carson Wentz, but he definitely not Joe Burrow either.
You ready to have some fun, E?
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys versus the Carolina Panthers. This game right here was more or less how bad the defense of Dallas played and how good the defense of the Panthers played. The Panthers played pretty good defense.
Yeah. What was that final score?
30-27.
27 points is a good defense to you, sir.
They played enough to win. In that time,
but 27 points does not a good defense make.
it's
You
good enough.
you shut out the Falcons and get them a 0. That's a good defensive day. This one, not so much. With that being said, it was times in that game where Carolina definitely played way better than the opponent they was playing because that Dallas defense is off. Especially that run defense. Remember, that was the whole thing. Well, yeah, we trade Parsons, but we upgraded our run defense. Shit, I can't tell.
And that's the thing I'm talking about too, man, because not only that, I'm not saying that Carolina would be like an unstoppable force when it comes to defense, but you got to look at the Dallas side as well, man. When you get 183 yards on the ground and then 56 through the air and a touchdown, man, and you have those crazy numbers like that, and you're one guy, Enrico Dowdle. And the funny thing about it was he told them before the game, "Oh, y'all got rid of me. Y'all didn't think I was worthy of staying there. Y'all better buckle up." And then after the win, they asked Dak Prescott, "How do you feel about, that game?" He was like, "Well, Rico Dowdle said what he said. We didn't come in buckled up." So it's like you mentioned that because he definitely punched them in the mouth. And that defense is really bad, man. They need to figure out something. And I still don't think the draft picks or the capital they have is going to be enough to even help them out right now.
You know who Dallas played later on in the year?
Us.
You think that ain't gonna be a good game for my Lions? Because they can't stop the run, and more importantly, you remember what happened that game last year. That's when they hurt my mans. You don't think he gonna be motivated to go in Dallas and put some hurting on that?
By that time, too, we should have DJ Reed and Aleem McNeil and a lot of the defense back, too.
Yes, sir. And you remember what happened last time we played them, even with that injury.
When did that game? I'm trying to figure out when that game is so I can mark it out on the calendar. I wish it was Thanksgiving. I really do. But then we still need to heal a little more. No, I think we played Chicago, Green Bay, and won our division.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game right here was a travesty too, man. The Tennessee Titans versus the Raiders. When you make the Raiders look good,
it's that time of year for me, y'all. I'm gonna tell you now. Certain games I'm just not gonna have the appetite for. It's so much sports going on right now between the football, the college football. We're gonna talk NBA in a minute. We got college basketball coming on. We ain't got time for these okay. The Raiders and the Titans ain't going nowhere. Please not waste our airspace with this discussion.
Thank you for telling me on air, except for texting me and telling me privately, E. We're going to go to the next game. San Francisco 49ers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What are your thoughts?
I ain't mean to hurt no feelings. I'm just saying.
I'm good. I just want to know, since you wanted to get off that game,
they cheeks, baby. They cheeks. Okay, back to where we was going. What's that next one?
The San Francisco 49ers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, two real teams. Let's talk about that for a minute. All right, look. Right now, the hottest quarterback on planet Earth is that kid Baker Mayfield, okay? understand his team is beat up right now. Best receiver on the shelf. Second best receiver on the shelf. Couple key people on that defense on the shelf. He don't get no damn. We got everybody that's left. Come on board. Ride my back, y'all. I got us. It's times in that game you see him on the sideline. Look, it's like this. We about to do this. I don't give a damn what's going on. I don't care who hurt. We winning. I am so proud of that dude Baker, man. Because remember, they had wrote him off. He was done. He was the backup for the Rams at one point. He was the backup for damn Carolina at one point. He has come all the way from that to this. And right now, if they was voting for MVP, it would be that dude. They got one of the best records in the league right now. They're the only team in the NFC with one loss. Baker and the Buccaneers are a problem right now. He is doing his thing. Now, again, the whole San Francisco scenario is the usual. You got Brock Purdy back. When Brock got all his weapons, San Francisco, they're a problem too. But when Brock is missing certain weapons, he ain't quite the same quarterback.
Right now, too, they had Mac Jones. He didn't play that bad, but them 2 interceptions was costly. I think he was trying to do too much at certain points in the game. Baker just did with what they gave him, and that's the reason why I believe they ended up pulling out that game. It was just a really good game until it wasn't, until they kind of pulled away with it. But the score was 30-19, and I definitely expected them to go in and do that, especially at home too. They was definitely ready. And it's crazy too when you get guys like Cameron Johnson and different guys. I think he's a rookie too. I forgot. I think like a third, fourth round draft pick. When you get rookies to come in and then just plug and play and do what you need to do, I was definitely impressed with that performance. I want to talk about this game because this was a funny one to me. The Cincinnati Bengals versus Green Bay. I looked at that game and I feel like for my man's Joe Flacco to not really have that long, he definitely made it interesting with his new weapons over there that he have. And it just looked like Green Bay stumbled in this game, man. If they didn't have a good performance, or if my man's Josh Jacob didn't carry the team on his back, they could have lost this game.
I go back to that week 1 when everybody was like, "Oh, Green Bay is everything. That defense is special." And Jordan Love, he did his thing, and they about to go in here. They might go undefeated. I mean, everybody was just riding the Jimmy big time week 1. And I was sitting there like, okay, yeah, they won. They look good. Let's see what happens. Week 2, same thing. Oh, yeah, Green Bay, that deal. Michael Parsons over there. That's the piece they needed. They're going to the Super Bowl. And they ain't played like that since. They just slightly better than average right now. Jordan Love back to doing Jordan Love type stuff. Yes, they should run the ball more because with Josh Jacobs, that give him some filter to kind of go with play action, and he's a better quarterback when they do that. As far as the defense go, the defense actually should get better in time as they start to get more used to what Micah does and start to feed off of Gary, who's feeding off of Micah. But in the end, it's that offense that's going to dictate how good Green Bay is moving forward. And if Jordan Love still got some of that gunslinger mentality in his system, they only gonna go so far. That being said, give Joe Flacco some credit. He's a veteran, and you gave him the keys to a Ferrari and a Lamborghini over there. Them 2 of the best wide receivers in the game. He got that type of arm. Just throw it up there as he did often in that game, and let's see what they can do with it.
And the crazy part about it to me, too, is what I look at is Matthew Golden's technically not a number 1 receiver right now in the league. He probably eventually will be, but I still believe their number 1 is Romeo Dobbs, and that's just
Agreed.
And that score to 27-18 definitely didn't speak really much of it because I still feel like with that game, it was still more closer than comfort than it should have been.
And I think in these next few weeks, you'll get more games like that from Green Bay than not. I think they will be a better team near the end of the season than it is now. I think they crowned them too early, man. They just did.
The two Monday Night Football games. The first game was really exciting to me. The second game was too. This was the first time I was definitely on my toes for both games on the Monday night because most times they'll give us a clunker and they'll give us a good game and they'll kind of mix them in together. But it was a little bit more separation in these games. And what
Monday
I
Night
was
Football been pretty decent this year, I must admit.
I'm surprised in the game too because if you'd have told me after having that stinker against Carolina recently, the bounce back is real because I still believe the coach Raheem Moore wasn't really too happy with that, and you could see the team played that way. They stifled my man's Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is starting to play like Josh Allen used to back in the day. Them habits are coming back because he got Keenan Coleman there, but he doesn't really have a lot of good pieces. That definitely still let you know when they were saying, "Oh no, he don't miss Stephon Diggs." He definitely miss him because you could tell when he played now, man, he wasn't playing the same, but there's no separation. The biggest problem was, though, to be honest with you, that defense was getting to him, man. When they drafted those two defensive ends in that draft, man, it definitely made a difference because they was coming after my man Josh Allen, and he was just, you could tell he was playing rush and he was scared.
This was the Atlanta Falcons that I was expecting, man. Because remember, when we did the preview, we said pretty much in that division, it's the Falcons and the Buccaneers. Between one of them, they'll figure it out. They finally started playing like that on offense and defense.
Yeah,
As far as Josh Allen go, I think he's starting not to trust the system again. That's
yeah.
why he started playing the way he did in the past. Because it's all on me. Let me see what I could do. It very much reminds you of some of them later years with Cam Newton, where it's like, okay, I'm the big dude. I got the big arm. It's on me to make plays happen. Let me see what I can do. Everybody else get in where you fit in. That's not gonna work for him long term. It's gonna get him hurt.
I was surprised too because at first, that first half, it was just like night and day. They just really went off in the first half. Atlanta, they kind of stumbled a little bit in the second half. I think the mistake was is Michael Penix kept trying to air it out in that second half when he really should have just been passing the ball or just pitching the ball off to my man Bijan Robinson because he was balling. But at
He
the
was
same time,
awful.
they couldn't stop Drake London either. But then I still feel like they should have ran the ball more because when he was trying to get the ball to Drake, they were trying to double team and they had him well covered. But yeah, man, if he would have gave the ball to Bijan like he was supposed to, man, and distribute the ball like that, I think Bijan Robinson would have had at least 200 yards, man, to go along with his touchdown. But 170 is not bad neither.
They got some good weapons on that Atlanta team. They really do.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's going to be one for the making when it comes to them and the Buccaneers because I don't think the Buccaneers out to clear yet.
Nope. And like I said, that should be a definitely good game when they play each other again.
This game was a revenge game for the Bears, but it was damn good, man. How come we didn't get this Andre Swift, man? The healthy Andre Swift who's running the ball like a maniac. How come we didn't get that?
I don't think we run to that so much because we got what we got now. But I know they definitely wondering that in Philly when he went home and
Yeah,
didn't do this.
that dude had 108 yards on 14 carries and 67 yards and a touchdown on two receptions, man. That dude went crazy. That last play when he got that pass and ran it all the way back, that was a blown coverage. But still, man, that was a really good game. That just lets me know, too, Washington kind of digressed as well because, yeah, you got Jaden Daniels back and he only been back for a few games. He didn't play bad though. 211 through the air, 3 touchdowns. But then I believe a lot more teams are starting to play spy on him and not letting him do all that running, and that was the issue. And I think it definitely didn't help when the element stepped in and it started raining. But it was a really good game. And to justify this game too is they lost at the last minute last season. The Chicago Bears. And that game when the rain started to go down, it was costly because that rain cost my man Jaden Daniels the fumble. The Bears got it back. And the cool part about it was the unsung hero was a guy who got released by the San Francisco 49ers. He was missing too many field goals. They took a chance on him with the Chicago Bears. And of course, he was the one who ended that game. That final score was 25-24. And it was like really good. Those two Monday night games was the best Monday night games I've seen back to back in a while.
And like I said, if you add last week's game with Jacksonville and Kansas City, we'd have had a nice couple weeks of Monday Night Football, absolutely. But the scary part is the Bears still figuring things out. It's like when you play the Madden and you got a couple of the little bonus cards they give you to kind of unlock people's skill sets and whatnot. I feel like they got about 3 or 4 cards away from fully unlocking what's going on with Caleb Williams. And once they do that, it's gonna be scary.
I definitely believe too, just in general, that team, which I'm saying as the Chicago Bears, once they start clicking, I definitely want to see what they do because he got some good pieces and stuff over there, man. But I was just more or less surprised that the defense stepped up too and played the way they did. But the offensive line is starting to hold up too. But they paid a lot of money for them dudes, so they should be doing something.
Right. I think they're gonna be in an interesting position when the trade deadline comes. Depending on what their record is at that point, it may be something to consider.
Dude, now that we basically kind of wrapped up everything in the NFL, we talked college and everything else, man. Let's get into it now, man, with the NBA because the NBA will be back on next Tuesday, and we want to give a preview of the NBA.
Okay, now this would be the ideal time for us to take our commercial break. Before we do that, first of all, sorry about the little outburst earlier, man. I love you, bro. But I promised on that holy Bible right here that this season I was gonna keep it 100. I'm just doing what I said I was gonna do.
I'm not tripping, man. It's just you feel like that, and that's what you said. I mean, it is what it is.
And now that being said, fans, now if the Titans and the Raiders y'all squads, and you tune in because you want to know what we think about it, you can put in the comments stuff, and then I'm just going to suck this shit up and talk about them, okay? Because Lord knows, even if my Lions was cheeks this year, I'm still going to talk about my Lions. So, I get that. But anyway, we need y'all to do us a favor. Let this be a live commercial right here. Hugh Lee, Eric Butler, Nighthawk Network Detroit, we are looking for your support. If you have not done so already and you watching this on the Facebook side, could y'all please go to YouTube? And if you haven't, could you please like and subscribe? We try to get our viewership and our numbers up because, once you get a certain amount of followers on those platforms, it leads to a possible monetization. And we really would like to get to a point sometime within the next year or so of doing just that. So we could talk to the people and get paid for what we have to say. That would be cool. So if y'all could do that for us and go ahead and like and subscribe on the page if you haven't already. And if you have, then hook us up with your fam, man. Tell a friend. Tell a friend of a friend. Like them dudes. They talk that good stuff. And they want to hear y'all comments, okay? Second thing, people, is, again, as always, thank y'all for supporting not only me, but the other folks in the Nighthawk Network. We will get them. They shine at the end, of course, but we just appreciate it a lot. That being said, here's some commercials from a couple of those folks, and we'll be right back with more of the Gurus Sports Session.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my T-Sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comfort together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling. Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag.
get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag. Long as I
Hey, this is your boy eBuck, and if you're looking for some great desserts, something sweet, something to treat yourself with, please check out my girl Caramel Sweets here in the Metro Detroit area. She can make desserts for your function, your event, or just for that special someone you want to give something nice to. So check her out. It's Caramel Sweets. You can find her on Facebook and Instagram. We appreciate you.
The following program is a Nighthawk Network presentation.
All right, y'all, we are back. It's the Google Sports Session. We are now going to do our annual NBA preview. Now, understand, unlike what we do with the football and the baseball, where we pretty much dedicate a whole show to doing that, we have chosen not to do so with the NBA preview. We're going to give you our thoughts on some of the teams, but, just like how I said, the teams that's cheeks, we're going to mention them, but we ain't going to have much to say. For example, I'm sitting here right now looking at the Washington Wizards. They cheeks, they still going to be cheeks. That's my comments. Anyway, before I go there, I really want y'all to understand why we feel the way we feel about it, because you kind of got a similar feel to what I think of it also. Maybe not quite as much as you, but you just talk to them why you feel kind of like that about the NBA right now.
NBA, man, by it not being on regular TV as often, which now I'm hearing the fact that they're going to be on NBC, that's really going to help out. That's been one of the reasons why I think a lot of people has been definitely chiming away from the NBA. Man, it's a hardship right now, man, financially for some of everybody. And it hit us really hard, man. But I definitely can still watch them regardless. If you want to know how, hit up my inbox. I can tell you that. But besides that, though, man, I just still feel like by them taking away, and I know I talked to my sister Harriet and a few people, when they say they don't watch NBA, they're not interested. And that's one of the main things that always come up, because I remember we talked about this before. We used to have, our local channel where we get all the Pistons games. Now they want to have Bally's and all these other places, big places taking over, and you can't even watch the local games no more. And by that being the case, a lot of people been chiming out of basketball, especially when you got to pay with the NBA, like on the ESPN or NBA TV. You don't really get a chance to really see it that much. The only time they really show is when the NFL is off, when they want to start putting it on TV to get their advertisement up. And of course, when the NBA Finals hit. So by them having it on NBC a lot more now, I'm definitely thinking that's going to help. But I would still like for them to put it on our local channels, like our local team be able to play and we be able to watch the games, because no disrespect, if some teams that you might not want to watch, like you said, I wouldn't want to watch a Washington Wizards game. I wouldn't want to watch certain teams in general. No disrespect for the Charlotte Hornets, I wouldn't want to watch that neither. So it's several teams you wouldn't want to watch on TV. But if it's something like your local channel, that's something that I would like. But I just don't feel like when the NBA, it seemed like after they strike that one time, it just didn't click anymore. And it was more about money and advertisement and getting everything on cable versus keeping it in your own living room, man, like a family, outing. But since that happened, man, I haven't been interested in, people could be like, oh, they play soft. It ain't as physical as it used to be. It's not about that. It's about how much money they want us to spend to try to watch this stuff, man. And I just don't have the time and energy, man, especially when you see a lot of stuff that's not really there for the game, like the flopping and all just the crazy stuff that we see now, man. It wasn't happening back in the day, man. It's like, I want them to play the game the way it needs to be played. I'm talking about the integrity of NFL. Sometimes the NBA is even worse. So yeah, man, I definitely want a better outing, man. And until I get that, I definitely still feel the same way. I still watch it and I check it out because that's what we do. We're podcasts and we basically check it out so we can talk and have stuff to talk about. And we got a lot of people out there who's interested. But yeah, man, sometimes you just get tired of the same old, man, meaning that we don't have it to the point to where we can watch it locally, man. And if they do NBC, I don't know how many times a week they'll do it. So yeah, we need to definitely get it back to where we get back to basics and start playing it on the local channels and our local teams be on regular TV.
Thank God for NBA TV and YouTube, where you could catch the highlights of pretty much any game and a couple hours after it happens. Because if not for that, I probably wouldn't be watching nearly as much either, to be quite honest. And part of it is financial, part of it is just the play of the game. Okay, it's crazy how I talk to certain
Freeze.
I talk to certain people and they're like, man, I don't watch the WNBA. It's boring. Compared to some of the stuff we seen in the NBA, are you serious? So you rather sit there for 2 hours and watch everybody 6'7" and higher chuck up threes from 35 feet and then go back down and chuck up three, somebody wide open under the basket. But no, let's shoot the three instead. How many teams that we about to talk about in a minute have a style very much like that? Part of what made the NBA in its prime is because certain teams had certain types of play, and certain teams had certain superstar players that you could not wait to see. Couldn't wait to see Allen Iverson when he was on TV. Couldn't wait to see Karl Malone when he was on TV with John Stockton. Couldn't wait to see Dominique Wilkins or Charles Barkley, players like that, Akeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing. See how quickly all them names rolling off my tongue? Today's superstars. You'll see what we're talking about as we break this down. Keep in mind, we two people that follow sports, and some of these names ain't gonna roll off our tongues like that because just don't care as much. Just ain't invested as much. We gonna trap it, y'all. We gonna keep track. We gonna watch Pistons and whatnot, but it just ain't hitting, especially this time of year with so many other sports that got much more quality jumping off. Okay, let's get into it. All right, we got the East Coast and the West Coast. I'm gonna start out the East Coast first. Again, Hugh, I'm gonna save us the trouble with some of these teams. Brooklyn, they ain't make enough major moves for them to even matter this season. They finished last year 26-56. They'll probably win a few more. They ain't going nobody playoff. Don't care. All right. We got Philadelphia. Your thoughts?
I think they're gonna be in that same boat no matter what, because you're always gonna get a Joel Embiid who's injured. I wouldn't be surprised if Paul George be injured. I was saying that before too, that you got two guys that they feel like is gonna make an impact and they're gonna be injured most of the season. And that's exactly what happened. Both of them were injured and they didn't play a lot. And I feel bad, man, because Tyrese Maxey is such a good player, man, and he need people around him. But when you got guys who can't stay healthy, man, that makes matters even worse, man. So I just don't really see a lot that Philly's going to do myself, because when you got your star players, it's not going to be 100%, or they'll look good when they play, but then they'll be out for a minute. I don't really see much coming from them neither. They'll be one of them teams on the cusp of the playoffs, maybe, maybe not.
I could see them rest managing themselves to maybe the play-in game, but no. And in years past, we had them up there. Even with so many people hurt on the East Coast, I agree with you. They'll be better than Brooklyn. That's about it. Toronto.
I think that they'll probably be one of them teams that probably might be on the cusp of playing, but I don't think they have enough, man. I do like Barnes, and I still don't really think they have a lot over there, man. They still need a whole lot more over there to convince me in Toronto. I don't really see them going nowhere. I wouldn't be surprised if they made the play in, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't.
Well, remember, they got the kid that they stole from New Orleans over there, Brandon Ingram. Rumor has it he dating Glorilla. But anyway, yeah, Toronto probably slightly less than Philly in my mind. Okay, the two teams that will compete for the Atlantic Division is Boston and the Knicks. I got the Knicks winning that division for one very important reason. Tatum out for the season, Achilles, okay? And more importantly, New York now has a squad that will play all its players. Because the problem that everybody had with Tibbs was, yeah, he's a good coach, he's a good defensive coach and all that, but he is very hard on his starters. He wants them to play multiple minutes. I don't think we'll have that problem with Mike
Not
over
with
there
Mike
now.
Brown. Not with Mike
Mike
Brown.
Brown will definitely keep them as a good defensive team, but they definitely will play more of the players. So because of that, I see the Knicks winning the Atlantic. Do you agree with that, Hugh?
Yeah, because of the fact is, it all came down to, my man's Tatum, man. And then not only that, but then you got a lot of pieces that had to lead the team. Well, mainly two of your main pieces, and Kristaps Porzingis and then Drew Holiday, who's a hell of a defender, man. You had to let them two guys go because financially you weren't going to be able to pay them. And plus, they're still trying to do the wholesale situation, so that was going to be an issue of its own. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Knicks do that. I feel like it's Knicks to win. You probably still have Milwaukee in the mix, but I still don't think the Milwaukee have enough to even be able to really compete with a healthy New York Knicks team.
I mean, bottom line, Boston is still going to be a good team. I'm definitely interested to see what Jaylen Brown does for them because he is clearly going to be the leader this season. But I don't think they're going to have enough firepower to get over the hump and be in that top 2 or 3 in terms of seeding. They probably a playoff team, but they probably closer to that 5 or 6. All right, we're going to hit the Central now. Chicago Bulls. No
I
thank
don't
you.
see that with them.
I don't want any of that. No thank you. Okay, now this is actually probably gonna be one of the better divisions because we got these teams. We got Milwaukee. Now, the problem with Milwaukee is my man's is gone now. No more Dame Dollar. It's back on big fella, the Greek freak, to do this thing. I don't think they working with enough over there to get past maybe the 6th seed. What's your thoughts?
I think that they messed up by doing that. You get another big man, and then you get rid of the guy who's going to be your playmaker. Who's your playmaker over there? Then I was hearing the rumors that they were talking about they going to have, Giannis Antetokounmpo play point guard at some point. Well, then I know that's a problem. So, yeah, I don't think they'll be in that. I'd be surprised if they be higher than the 6. I believe they'll be the 7th or brink of being an 8 seed.
I could definitely see that also, Hugh. Okay, now here's the thing. Indiana made the finals last year. Don't see that happening this year. Y'all know why. Halliburton, again, out for the season, Achilles. Good team without him, great team with him. Good team will make playoff. Great team, maybe they actually go over the hump this year. But nope. Again, Indy, somewhere in that 5 or 6 seed because they're in the East. There's in the West, they probably wouldn't make it at all.
I think that Indy right now, definitely with that injury, is going to hurt them. They're going to still be a good team, but they're not going to be as solid with Halliburton because I feel like a healthy Halliburton could have made a difference last year, and it probably been an even playing field. Is probably who won that championship. But with him being out, man, and Tatum being out, man, that kind of take away from the game. But yeah, they'll be a good team still, but not enough to win the championship.
Siakam could only do so much, okay? And Matherin, them two. But anyway, moving on. Cleveland. I think Cleveland had their chance last year, man. This it. If they don't end up being the number 1 seed and winning the East this year, I don't think they ever will.
Yeah, because they got all the talent. They got all the young talent in the world, too, man. I remember hearing rumors, too, when they thought that LeBron was going to make that second decision before that, catastrophe happened. That when that catastrophe happened, man, it was like nobody cared. But it was just good advertisement for him. I mean, Brian, if you want to say that. But yeah, man, I still even think with the team they have right now and the young core they have, they're one of the really best teams and a solid team. They've been bad for so long to have all that draft capital and good players over there. And definitely Donovan Mitchell. I believe that's going to definitely help them out. They got to be healthy, though, because if they're not healthy and they have problems with health, it's the same thing that happened again from last season. But if they're healthy, they could be the best team in the East and surpass the New York Knicks.
Right. They got 2 of the better bigs in the league over there on that squad also. I see them winning the Central, but right behind them are Pistons, man. Jaden Ivey is the key to whatever we're going to do this year. Because I think we'll get some slightly better play from Cade Cunningham, although there'll probably, again, be that point in the year, like every year, where he out for about 5 to 6 games because of injury. But I do believe it's up to Ivy to show that, yeah, I am the number 2, or hell, even I'm the number 1 on this squad. And with me and Kay, we got a good team for the next decade. So that being said, I see us making the playoffs again. I see us getting as far as maybe a 3 or 4 seed. Do we get to that next level? Not quite ready to go there yet.
Nah, they still got a little bit more growing and stuff to do, man. But then again, by them being relevant and them playing good and definitely having Ivy back, man, that's going to be a good start for us, man, because a healthy Pistons team is going to be pretty good. And they're coming, man. They might not be quite there yet, but they'll be there, man. They're going to compete for like one of the top spots, man, and they're going to be competitive every night. It was just good to see some of the preseason games and how well they meshed and seeing Jaden back, man. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what's going to happen this season.
All right. Then, of course, we have the Southeast Division. Okay. Let's get through this quickly. Washington, double cheeks. Done. Charlotte, they just don't want it, man. They got a couple good players on that squad. They just don't want it. Okay. Do we need to talk about either of them?
No, we necessarily don't have to because I don't really see too much coming from them. Washington, you know, they who they are, but then I definitely love LaMelo, man. But besides him and Bridges, it's not really too much to even really talk about on that team. So no, I don't really have much to say.
I mean, I think Washington get the number 1 and number 2 pick in next year's draft and still would be cheeks. They that bad. All right, Miami.
I think Miami going to be one of them.
Miami either.
They're going to be probably one of them play-in teams, if that. Bam get the opportunity to show who he is. He basically probably riding off of his women's championship, but I really don't see them playing good enough to where they can go anywhere, but possibly in the play-in game, maybe they're 8th seed.
Okay, bottom line, Orlando winning that division. They won it last year. They win it again this year. If everybody is healthy on that squad, I see them winning 50 games. I see them being a 4th seed. They a little older now. They got a couple good veterans that they added. That's their division to lose. Atlanta's the other team. Is Atlanta good enough to beat them? That's the question.
You never know with Atlanta, man, because they got some talent over there, but they just don't seem like they do quite enough. They'll be one of them teams that maybe be in that 6th, 7th seed, but they might be able to make that first round, but then the second round they'll be going home. But I want to see what all talent they have over there and what they can do because they got rid of a few pieces. But yeah, I'm just not really buying into Atlanta right now as far as being a competitor or a contender when it comes to
Is this the year they finally trade Ice Train?
They can get a lot for them if they do.
I do think it becomes a discussion depending on what their record is around about January. All right, but anyway, no team in that division I see doing nothing in terms of the East. Okay, the winner of the East this year is
I'm gonna go with maybe the Knicks or the Cleveland. But if I had to choose, I would say the Knicks because the Knicks seem like they got a little bit more fight in them.
Call me crazy. I'm gonna go with Cleveland. Just to feel. Okay. We hit the West Side now. All right. I'm gonna go with the Pacific Concert first because, of course, that's the conference that the Lakers and the Clippers are in. They kind of in the same boat, but kind of not. On the one hand, Lakers, of course, have Luka. Because they have Luka, I say they are better than the Clippers because the Clippers is full of old folks. Okay. Let's talk about the Lakers right quick. Of course, LeBron is always an issue. Because LeBron is there, because of the Lakers, they'll be talked about a lot. People will care. I do believe the Lakers make the playoffs this year. I think they may even get as far as second round if LeBron is healthy. If LeBron is not healthy, in other words, if he plays less than 60 games, I think that's it for LeBron. I don't see LeBron staying in the league being a 6-man or coming off the bench or just playing 50 games. If he ain't healthy, this is last year.
And an in shape Luka is going to definitely be dangerous to deal with too. So yeah, I definitely believe they'll be in that.
I like that they got DeAndre Ayton to be in the post. If he can concentrate on being a post player, if he is determined to shoot jumpers and 3-pointers and whatnot, and stay in the middle. do middle people things. Let the other people do what they do, and y'all will be okay.
Yeah, but I think they'll be like at least second round. I don't think they'll go anywhere past that.
Right. Do you think Bronny is a factor at all on that team?
I think he's gonna give us some okay minutes off the bench. I'm not gonna say he's gonna be the sixth man or nothing. I think he'll be usable.
So you think he'll definitely spend more time with the Lakers this year than in the G League?
Not really quite sure about that yet. I would have to see.
I'm gonna go with yeah, for the simple fact that if we are thinking what most of us are thinking, that this is LeBron's last year, they're gonna want to spend as much time together as they can, just for
Okay.
that reason alone. Okay, back to the Clippers. Clippers are starting to be the version of the Red Wings from back in the day, when basically the Red Wings would take older players that had a name and was on the verge of Hall of Fame and add them to the squad. Back when we had people like Chelios, people like Luke Robitaille. Y'all know what I'm talking about. People like the GOAT, that his name escapes me right now. But anyway, that's pretty much what they're doing over there with the clip joint. Okay. Call me crazy, but I think this is gonna actually be the year that Kawhi Leonard plays a real season. Not a full season, just a real season. I see him playing 65 plus games and playing well. I think this is the last really good year we get out of James Harden. I do like Powell over there for the clip joint. Outside of that, okay, Zubac, I kind of smurf with him too. It's just the age thing gonna catch up with him. I mean, Chris Paul, come on, man. He probably should be in an announcer seat right now. He shouldn't be playing no more.
I wouldn't be surprised if they make a playing game. That's as far as I give them because
I see them making the playoffs in the playing round. I agree.
they're an older team, and I still don't have faith in Kawhi. I still believe Kawhi play, and then out of nowhere, man, when you need him the most, he won't be there like he's been. What has he done to show you that he'll play that many games? I don't believe it until I see it, but I don't think that he'll do it. At some point, when you're thinking after he had a good game where he scored 30, 40 points, and you'll see him, he'll be on the bench, and he won't play no more the rest of the season. So, yeah, I think that that'll give them enough to even make that playoff, but I don't think it'll be enough to actually have them get out that first round.
Right. Phoenix is done. No, you need to talk about them. Sacramento, man, they fell off. Remember,
Yes,
we were talking about them being one of the top teams. Now, a couple years later, yeah. So
and
basically, we got them. And then, of course, the last team in that division, Golden State. Same problem as the Clippers. Too many old folks.
I don't see them making no play in either. I don't think they're going to the play in. They might be put out this season before any play
If
in.
they don't make the playoffs, I think that's it. I think that's the last run for Golden State. At that point, it's time to start breaking it up, or time for people to be honest with themselves and go ahead and retire.
Because more than likely, Steph will be hurt again. He always hurt. So
That's
I
pretty
believe
much
that
it. I
will take
mean,
away a lot.
even in his younger days, that was the case. So as crazy as it is for the numbers that he has in terms of 3-pointers and points and whatnot, imagine where he should be right now if he is healthy all these years.
Yeah, I believe that that's going to be a problem, man, with them. And it's unfortunate because, like you said, with all these older teams, man, I just think the health is going to be the biggest issue with them. They're
Right.
going to win games and they're going to look excited when they win. But how far would they be able to go? I don't think it's going to be far enough.
And my whole thing, I will put this caveat on it. Plain and simple. That's it. Draymond Green, one time. Any of your shenanigans, one time. That's it. One time he's done. I don't even want no 10-game suspension, 20. One good time. End of Draymond. Ban. Life.
I'm surprised they resigned him when they did.
I mean, do you agree with that, Hugh?
I believe that if he make any bad decisions like that, yeah, they should definitely give him a really good, suspension. But at the same time, I wouldn't even want him in the league with some of the horseplay.
I said ban for life.
I don't know about the ban for life, but I know they're gonna lay down
As
a little bit
many
more pressure.
times we can be here with Draymond, how could you not? Okay, if not banned for life, at least done for the season.
I think that if they don't ban him for life, they'll basically give him a strict suspension, though, to where he'll learn from that, rather than have him out like 3 or 4 games. I'm talking about like if he do something early in the year, I would suspend him like 20, 30 games.
No, damn that season. We
No,
done been there with him.
I don't think
We
they'll
done
do
been
that.
there with him multiple times now. If that dude should get 2 games and he done did multiple things, Draymond done did 20 times worse than Branch, okay? He done been multiple suspended multiple times now. If you want the league to make the lesson be very clear, you got to hit him hard. One kick to the nuts, one throw people on the ground, one bounce their head, one sock. That's it for him. He gets no more free passes. I love Draymond, you know I do, but that's got to be it for him, dog.
Got some breaking news, man.
Yeah.
Keegan Murray had agreed to a 5-year, $140 million rookie extension with the Sacramento Kings.
Well, of course he did, and of course they did. He is that squad right now. Him and Malik Monk. It's them against the world, baby. You got to sign that dude.
Yeah,
All right.
that's best.
Now, to finish up, Southwest region. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, no. My bad. I jumped the gun. Southwest, then we got to go Northwest. Then we done. Okay, real quick, we got the Pelicans.
I think the Pelicans, man, they'll be okay. They'll definitely make the play in. Maybe even like a 6, 7 seed, but I don't know how far they'll go after that.
Zion has to be healthy. With a healthy Zion, they're a playoff team. Without a healthy Zion, we wasting our discussion.
It's funny that he usually gets small and try to get in the best of shape possible when the contracts start coming around too. I don't think if he don't play well this year, that's going to even save him.
Here's where it get interesting. Memphis Grizzlies.
I don't know, man, because you got the 2 guys over there in Ja Moran, and you got my man Jared Jackson, Triple J, whatever the hell you want to call him.
Right.
They can only do so much, man. I definitely think with Desmond Bain leaving, man,
They
that's
gonna
going.
miss Desmond Bain.
So I definitely think that's going to be a problem. So yeah, man, I think that they'll be one of those teams that'll make the playoffs, like maybe a 5 or 6 seed and look good until they don't.
When we talk about the other teams, I think you may change your thoughts on that. Okay. Dallas Mavericks.
That's a team I really think gonna be good, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they be a top 4 team, man. They just got a good squad over there, man. And then if they're healthy, unfortunately, they won't have Kyrie, but still, I think
For
that's gonna be.
part of the season, Kyrie is slated to come back at some point. And I think based on that, that is where they lie. If they get good Kyrie back to go with what they got, and Cooper Flag early on shows that he is him, I think they got something there. And then, of
Yeah.
course, they need Mr. Glass to not be Mr. Glass.
Yeah, because when he went over there and he was healthy, he looked really good for that team, man. So they definitely need him to step up. And that's why I think the Lakers actually did what they did, man. I was surprised that that deal with Dallas even went down, man, for Luka. But I think it was because of Luka and his weight and his discipline. And then you have my man's Anthony Davis being glass.
Right. But like I said, if Cooper Flag step up like we think gonna step up, all will be forgiven. All right. Now, of course, we got the San Antonio Spurs.
San Antonio, man, I think they're going to be a good young up and coming team. But with them, I would definitely say like a cusp team. I would say like if they don't do the play in, I would say at the highest I would see them going is maybe a 7 seed.
I could see them going high as 6 because I'm looking at Wembanyama and what I saw in the preseason so far. Not to mention he got that kid over there with him that they got from Sacramento. And I think the combination of them two plus the kid Bailey they got in the draft. Well, no, actually they didn't get Bailey. They got the other kid, didn't they? I think I mixed that up.
Yeah, because I do like De'Aaron Fox.
Hold on. Give me a second. Harper, that's who they got. Yeah, I definitely like what they are assembling over there. I think they're gonna be good. I think early on it's not gonna show so much, but after say game 20 or so, I think they're gonna make that good push at the end that's gonna get them there.
I believe that with a team like that, man, they're going to be special to watch too, man. Because like you said, I do like De'Aaron Fox too. I was really surprised
Absolutely.
that they let that deal go within that same almost conference. But yeah, they're going to be a exciting team, and they're putting on the right pieces around Victor,
Yeah,
man. So I
I'm just hoping that they still play a good brand of basketball without Pop. Okay,
yeah,
then of
I
course,
still feel like that they will because that was his assistant. So I believe he ain't going to change up a lot.
the team I think will win the Southwest Conference, Houston Rockets.
Yeah, man, I think that's a team going to compete for like one of the best teams in that and just the league in general. They're stacked over there, man. They already had, one of the twins over there. And then, you got Asperman Sengun, you got Kevin Durant, man. It's like you could just name that roster, man. They got a really stout roster, man. They went in and they went in to win. After being in the situation they was in last year, and coming up short. And they said they needed killers and they needed players who could score and, just different things of that nature with, what's my man's name? The crazy dude too, the Dylan kid, who always getting into trouble. They got a lot of good
Dylan
players
Brooks.
over there, man. And then you got Dylan Brooks and all them over there with a coach like Emi Adoka. Yeah, I think that's the most dangerous team right now over in the West. That's my opinion.
All right, so that's that one. Okay, last five, then we up out of that. Okay, look, Portland,
I don't see nothing with Portland, man.
Utah.
Utah, I was really surprised. I thought Utah would be a little better than what they was at first, man, with some of the pieces. But no, I don't see much with them neither, man. I believe better yet, it's so bad. I think they'll be trading off some of their pieces around like the trade deadline.
I can definitely see a fire sale there. Okay, now the real teams in that conference, Denver Nuggets.
Denver Nuggets got stout, man. They got really big, man. They got a lot of veteran presence, man, because that's what they was missing. They got a good starting five. But when they're tired or when they can't really hold it down, they couldn't do it all by themselves. And by you get guys over there like Valanciunas, you got Tim Hardaway Jr., you got some really good guys who's going to come off the bench and get them good play over there. Denver's going to be better than a lot of people expect, man. I think that it's going to be a really good year. And don't even be surprised if Denver be one of them top seed teams over there, man.
I see Denver making the playoffs, but I don't see them winning that division because of these two teams, Minnesota Timberwolves.
That's their problem right there. And I believe that on the Minnesota Timberwolves, by them having one of Denver personnel over there, they were equipped to beat Denver. And man, I just still feel like with Anthony Edwards and the emergence with a lot of those guys over there, man, I think they're going to be pretty good. They're going to be all right. Surprising me too, man, was Rudy Gobert. I usually give him a hard time, man, and he played pretty well. He played better than I thought that he would when they needed him last year. And if he can just do enough and all the other pieces around Anthony Edwards step up too, man, I think they're going to still be one of them dangerous teams to be reckoned with. And
They just get a little bit more offense out of Rudy. If not, though, wouldn't be surprised they trade Rudy. That being said, the other team, champs, OKC.
OKC gonna be good, man. I still feel like they're gonna make a good run. I don't think they'll be back to back. I would be shocked if they go back to back, but I still think they're gonna be one of the better teams, man. I still think, man, that injury bug gonna probably play a factor in there too. It's good that they paid all their guys, their main guys, and they trying to run it back. But yeah, man, going back to back, I wouldn't be really surprised, but I would be surprised because I don't think it's gonna happen.
I mean, I just can't see SGA playing as well as he did last year because the target on his back this year, that's got to slow him down a little bit. And if they do repeat, it's because Jay Will just stepped his game up a couple more notches. If he can get to that level with SGA, not only will they win again this year, but they're gonna start talking dynasty in OKC. But that being said, I don't see it happening this year. I think after some consideration, I'm kind of going with Hugh. I think I got Houston winning the West, and I think I got them winning it all.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man, because no disrespect in the Knicks, man. I just think that Houston has a little bit better for me, and I no disrespect to Mike Brown, but I think you already know what I think about him, Doka, man. So I think he's one of the better coaches. And so, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they pull it off myself.
Right. But man, wouldn't it be the hell of a series if we end up getting Houston versus Boston?
Man, that'd have been crazy. I just wish that they had the star power or like the actual, firepower to compete right now. That would be a good series.
That'd be a damn good series. Anyway, that's what we got for our NBA preview, man. Of course, we're not in the show yet. We got to do our predictions, but we got to run them quick, Q. Let's do it.
You know I'm about to. Number 10 LSU versus number 17 Vanderbilt.
I got LSU.
I'm going to hold it up, too, because I'm going to let everybody get their pad and pen for these predictions.
I'm ready. LSU.
Ole Miss versus Georgia. I'm going to definitely go with Georgia at home, and I'm going to take the 7.5.
I'm taking Ole Miss with the upset.
Number 7, Texas Tech versus Arizona State. I'm going to go ahead and stay with Texas Tech with the 7.5.
Told y'all, Texas Tech the truth, y'all.
Number 11, Tennessee versus number 6, Alabama. I'm going to go with Bama at home, and I'm going to take the 7.5.
I'm going with Bama. I'm not going to 7.5. I think Tennessee makes it interesting.
Number 20, USC. They're ranked now versus number 13, Notre Dame. I'm going to go with Notre Dame at home, the more physical and a more physical team. I'm going to go under the 9.5.
Notre Dame's still in the playoffs till they ain't.
This is going to be a good one, too, a sleeper one. Number 16, Mizzou versus Auburn. I'm going to go with Mizzou, but I'm going to take the 1.5 just to be safe.
I'm going Mizzou. I think they win by a touchdown.
Number 23, Utah versus BYU. I'm going to go with Utah, but I'm going to go over that 3.5. I'm going to have Utah, and I'm going to have them by 7.
Always a good rivalry game, that game. I'm going with BYU.
Thursday night matchup. Pittsburgh Steelers versus Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm going to go under the 4.5.
Again, rivalry games hit different. But that being said, Joe Flacco looking real old these days. I know my man's chopping at the bit to get him. Steelers.
The Mike Vrabel Bowl. New England Patriots versus the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to go with New England, and I'll take the 7.5.
Man, they going to stomp that ass. New England.
It's a good one. You're going to like this one. Los Angeles Rams versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is the 9:30 London game now. This is one I might set the alarm for. I'm gonna go with the Jags. I don't think the Jags are gonna lose back to back like that, man. Especially if all the guys on the Rams is not healthy, which they were pretty banged up that last game.
They do a poll of who's the most popular NFL team over there in Europe. You know the answer, right?
Jags. Mm-hmm.
For that reason, I got Jags.
I'm going to go with KC, and I'm going to take the 12.5, and we can move on. Okay, we have Philadelphia Eagles.
They're playing that team. That's why he moved on.
Philadelphia Eagles versus the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to go with the Eagles, and I'm going to go with the 1.5.
Yeah, Minnesota still ain't quite where they need to be with it, and Philly going to have something to prove.
The Colts and the Chargers, I'm going with the Colts on this, and I'm gonna give them a 3.5 point favor.
I'm going with the Chargers for the upset.
New York Giants versus Broncos. I'm gonna go with the Broncos at home with the 7.5.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a different story this week for the Giants. I'm going Broncos as well.
Green Bay Packers versus Cardinals. I'm gonna go under the 6.5. They say for Green Bay, but I'm gonna go with Green Bay.
I'm going Green Bay, and I'm taking them points.
Washington Commanders and the Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to go with Washington, and I'm going to go with 3.5.
These teams hate each other, and that Dallas defense is cheeks. Commanders.
Good one right here. You check this one. This is the Sunday night game. Thank God. Atlanta Falcons going into 49ers and play the 49ers. I'm going to go with the Falcons on this one, and I'm going to go with a higher than a 2.5. I'm going to go with a 4.5 with the Falcons.
That game always has been a good game ever since the days of Deion Sanders, particularly when he went to San Francisco. Yeah, it kind of got that feel to it. I'm going with them Falcons. Dirty
Two
Bird.
Monday night games. You got the Buccaneers versus the Detroit Lions. I'll take our Detroit Lions, but I'm gonna go under that 5.5 though.
I'm sorry. I know I'm gonna get enough for picking against my team, but that dude Baker, he hot right now. I'm going with them Bucks.
Who he got to throw to?
It don't matter who gonna check them.
Tennessee Titans versus the Seattle Seahawks. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks, and I'm gonna go with the 3.5.
Do we even need to say?
And that's all I have for today. You got anything else to add on to it?
Normally I would, but today I got nothing. I just want you to talk your ish and promote your shit.
All right. Well, you guys, y'all can catch me and follow me on Hoovy at Instagram, WHOOVI, Facebook on Sports Guru 2U. You can catch me on there. Most times I'm putting out basically information like breaking news and the sports scores and highlights. And you can catch me too as well on TikTok as Hugh.Lee6. If you have any questions or anything you want me to add or something you want me to talk about, just hit me up on my Gmail account at sportsguru2u@gmail.com. I would like to say thank you all for paying attention and showing love. We would like for y'all to click on those links that we have to like and subscribe. And thank you all once again. We appreciate the love. And all the new subscribers I had too, man. I appreciate y'all for the love as well.
Absolutely. And please join me this week for I Am Nighthawk on Sunday on these same airways. There will be a special segment from me and my brother Hugh. We're going to talk some TV and we're going to want to know y'all opinions. Is it something that y'all want to see us do in the future? We are talking about a couple classic television shows, our thoughts on them, the characters and favorite episodes, all that good stuff. Just two kids kicking it about TV they used to watch back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Definitely think that's going to be a good one, man, because it's like a few shows we want to talk about, some of your favorites, too. We're not going to give y'all the spiel yet, but we will definitely letting y'all know so y'all can chime in, kind of give y'all something a little different because we definitely hear. And that's some of the stuff that we heard, too, because a lot of people, they would chime in and they would look at the shows, but then they're not big sports fans. So we're going to try to do something for everybody to enjoy.
Right, and then of course, the other thing I'm gonna talk about on that episode is what's going on with the government and the secret villain in this whole plot. Because there really is a secret villain that ain't enough people talking about. So we'll go there on I Am Nighthawk, 9 p.m. Sunday. That's it for me, brother.
Yes, sir. Well, you already know what time it is. Until next week.
Alrighty, y'all. Till next week, we up out and deuces.